Mr. Sayer has refused to make public comment after signing in. So that's kind of an inside joke, everybody. Monica Cannon. Ms. Cannon, welcome.
Hi, my name is Monica Cannon. I reside here in Jackson, Mississippi, within the Midtown community. And I'm here today in support of the application for many reasons. But first, I just want to share that I am a public school supporter, traditional public as well as charter public, contrary to public belief. I do support both because I know that our children are going to be in both. So I want to make sure that both of those environments are quality. Secondly, I did review the 288-page application. The one thing that I would change, if anything, would be the location from South Jackson to Midtown. That's a joke with Bishop Kruger. We also really wanted Nashville Prep to come to Midtown, and we were heavily recruiting them. But they get us out, and that's okay. That's okay as long as they're here in Jackson. We're fine with that as well. But I wanted to talk to you not so much about the application, but about the experience that we had when we went to visit Nashville Prep. Midtown has been visiting charter schools across the southern region and a little bit beyond. We went to New York last month to also visit a system there. But so we've been to New York, we've been to Arkansas, we've been to New Orleans, we've been to Tennessee. And not only did we go, Midtown partners and some of the staff, but we took 20 parents and some educators from our community. So we were all looking and seeing the same thing around this conversation about changing the educational landscape in Midtown. And I can tell you that by far, Nashville Prep and one other system in Tennessee, they were our top two choices. We were just blown away. We saw some great things in New Orleans that we liked. But when we got there to Tennessee, it was hands down. Nashville Prep and Gestalt, I believe, were the top two, and we were very, very impressed with both operations. So we didn't really know what to expect. We had been touring. We arrived there, got to the building. The building looked pretty similar to some of the other ones that we were happy to see that was actually the school. You know, we've been to retail shopping centers at some charter schools and all, churches everywhere. So we were happy to see that it was a school, a traditional school building. We got there and immediately we were met by two professional, personable young men, two students. And they introduced themselves and told us that they would be our ambassadors and would be touring us through the school. So we were immediately like, wow, this is different, And so our first stop after they gave us the basic overview about the school and the community, our first stop was Mrs. McDonald's classroom. And oh my gosh, I'm looking back at my friends that were with me on this trip. We got in that classroom and we kind of stood in the back and we didn't know what to expect. But we were so pleased with the environment in the classroom. The students we saw self-efficacy occurring. We saw student-led learning. We saw them focused and engaged. We saw them say things like, to expound on what my peer said. I was like, okay, that's good. We saw them just really engaging and sharing in a way that we hadn't seen in some of the other places, and to be frankly honest, in some of the schools here. In some of the schools in our community. So we were very impressed. We were very impressed with her facilitation skills because she didn't teach them. She didn't stand over them and just lecture. She facilitated the dialogue and she got back. And the students carried it. So we were really impressed. The students talked about, and they just showed a passion about, I've read my 400,000 word. And I was like, what? And they talked about it. They were excited about reading and loved to read and wanted to share and show us all of their goals and what they had accomplished. We were just really pleased. But let me tell you that short, we had a moment where we went into a class with a seventh grade, with some seventh grade students. And so all Ravi did was say, hey guys, we got some people here from Mississippi visiting. They want to just come and learn about the wonderful things that you all are doing and just kind of have a conversation with you. And that's all he said. And one student said, you know, we just finished reading Outliers. We just finished reading Outliers.
I hate to interrupt you because I could listen to you expound.
Okay.
But just your time's up. I'll give you a few more seconds.
Okay, but I just want to tell you, in having this dialogue with students, they shared with us the one question that kept coming up from them is they looked at the statistics in Mississippi. They know what our educational landscape looks like. And they kept asking us, if you all know better, why aren't you all doing better? And they kept, and whatever we said was not appropriate for them. They kept asking the questions. They went out to Google and they showed us the comparison of African American males incarcerated in Mississippi compared to African American males graduating. And then they asked us the question again. And they just talked about how in Outliers, success is based on not only what's inside of you, but what's around you. And they gave us that to take home with us as far as a thinking point about what's around our children here and how do we change that so that we can change education in Mississippi. And these were seventh graders, you guys, and we were floored. So I just wanted to share that with you, but we're so excited that you're here. We're a little sour that you're not in Midtown, that's okay. We'll work through that. But we're excited that they're here. They're quality people, and we just look forward to partnering with them.
Very good. Thank you, Ms. Cannon. We appreciate those comments. That concludes the list of those who will be making public comments tonight. Let me remind you that if you wish to make any further comments, you feel free to do so.